Hi, and welcome back to the Sequire Spotlight. I'm Carmel Fisher, and we are live at the LD Micro Invitational here at the Four Seasons Hotel in Westlake Village, California. With me, I have CEO Adam Levy, and he is with Nexgel Inc. with the ticker NXGL on the NASDAQ exchange. Welcome, Adam.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Of course, happy to have you. We'd like to hear first and foremost what Nexgel is all about.
So Nexgel is a hydrogel manufacturing facility. It had for many years been making components to medical devices for some of the largest multinationals in the world. But now we've sort of moved into beauty and cosmetics applications, consumer health products, as well as making our own medical devices. So it's an exciting time for us. We're growing and expanding into new verticals.
And the beauty market, as we all now know, is an ever-expanding billion-dollar industry. So it's definitely an interesting space for you to be in.
Yes, it is. And we have a very unique product. So most hydrogels that you may have seen on the market are made cross-linking water and polymer, and they use chemicals to initiate that process. Those chemicals are skin irritants in general and are not suitable for beauty and cosmetics. They're not suitable for dermatology products. They're not suitable for a wide range of applications that we can now address.
Wonderful. Can we touch on some of the strengths of the company as it relates to the wider industry?
Sure. So we kind of identified the lowest hanging fruit for us to be a custom label opportunity. So think about a company that has a very successful product, a lotion, a cream, a gel, for a variety of indications, eczema, acne, wrinkles, whatever that might be. And they can't have a patch. And the reason they can't have a patch is for all the reasons you mentioned before. You don't want to put an adhesive on your face. Most of the other hydrogels have parabens and worse chemicals. So now we've created, with our electron beam accelerator, we can make hydrogels that are up to 95% water. So deeply hydrating. We've already put over 200 different combinations of additives in them, so things such as hyaluronic acid, vitamin C, other, lidocaine. And so we can represent a line extension for companies that already have a robust market in place.
Wonderful, but I think you've touched on this. Do you want to add more light to how your products and services differ from everything else out there?
Sure. So as I mentioned, the other companies use chemicals to cross-link their hydrogels.
Right.
We don't. We use an electron beam accelerator.
Right.
So this is an $8 million, very large accelerator machine, and we use the energy from that to cross-link pure water and a little bit of polymer into sheets of water.
Amazing.
Yes.
What's the feedback you're getting from the market?
So the market loves it. Interestingly enough, we first went out in 2019 to a couple of beauty and cosmetic shows, and we had an overwhelming response. And then unfortunately, we did our second show in February of 2020, and then COVID came along, and everything kind of shut down. So we decided to make some lemonade out of lemons at the time, and we put out our own products on Amazon. That business is growing very, very rapidly for us. We have a store called Metagel, and we'll be releasing our beauty line in the fall. But an interesting thing happened. All those companies came back in 2021. So we've done custom formulation work for about 10 companies so far. We have a robust pipeline of more. And of those 10 companies that completed their research and development, custom projects, resulted in 7 commercial orders. So very high hit rate. And now the products are coming to market. And of course, if they're successful, we'll be the manufacturer.
Wonderful. And that touches on where and why the sales are trending.
Yes, sales are trending up. Our business is growing rather nicely. If you look at our numbers, we don't give guidance, but we are growing at a pretty good pace, and we anticipate that continuing for the near future.
Wonderful. So can we touch on the debt level and the debt ratio within the company right now?
Sure. So the company did 2 convertible debt offerings prior to going public. We had our IPO in December of 2021, so very recent.
Yeah.
We paid off the first convertible note, which was about $1.5 million, and the second $1.5 million note is coming due in September, but we have ample cash to pay that off and have years of runway. So we're in a very, soon we'll have no debt, and we have very low debt to equity ratio right now, debt to cash ratio as well.
Excellent. Apart from the highly competitive landscape that you're in, obviously you've got great things that make you stand out. What other competitors are you aware of, and what other threats are there for Nexgel?
So what's interesting in what we do with this technology, there are only 2 facilities in the world that we know of that make this kind of gel or have the capacity to make this kind of gel. So it would be a little bit of a ramp up for anybody else to come until they notice us.
Right.
The other company that can do it actually does not do contract manufacturing. It's not their business. They're a pure medical device company.
Right.
So we really kind of have it to ourselves for now. For us, the main challenge is education. It's letting people who love using hydrogels understand that you really know what you're putting on your face. Do you really know what's in those hydrogels? And wouldn't you rather have a product with 3 ingredients as opposed to 25 ingredients?
Sounds like a logical explanation there, absolutely. So I see you have a sample for us.
I do.
I am interested. I can
Could
hold
you
that.
for 1 second?
Of course.
So this is just a plain water sample of one of the gels that we use. This gel is 90% water, so deeply hydrating. We use this as an under eye. So I'm just gonna put that on your wrist so you can feel it. And you can feel how cool and soothing that feels. And we can load that with all sorts of additives that will deliver both transdermally and topically to the skin.
Wonderful. It's a pretty thick foam you've got going here.
Well, that's because it's full of water.
Right.
So imagine an under eye. Most face masks that you buy today on the market, they're either paper or felt or some material that are kind of soaked in a goop.
Right.
And you put that goop on your face and you smear it around. This can stay in place for 2 to 3 hours.
Wow.
Hydrate the entire time. As you can see, it sticks very gently.
Right.
You can walk around the house. You can do things around the house. You're not tied down because you're doing a facial treatment.
Right.
And it will continue to deliver that for hours. And
So-
if you peel it off, you'll see how the skin has absorbed all the moisture and it comes off without any residue whatsoever. So good.
Oh, right this minute. So
Yeah,
how
sure.
long does it have to stay
Oh,
on?
if you had an effective active in there, you really wanted it to stay on for 2 hours.
Wow.
But this is just kind of to give you the feel of it. So you can see how kind of hydrating that is. And
Yeah,
how nice that feels.
no residue left over there.
Yep. I'll take
Amazing. Thank you. So when can we look at getting full body suits made of this stuff?
Well, interestingly enough, there was a medical device company that did make a full body suit to regulate body temperature in coma patients.
Wow.
So we have done some big applications like that, but
Yeah.
it's a little bit pricey as an application right now to do
I
full
can
body.
imagine, yeah. With the market as it is and, things a little dynamic, to say the least, impacting all of us across the board, what would you say is the one thing impacting you the most? Is it inflation, high rates going up, etc., supply chain issues? What is impacting you the most?
So we really have been very fortunate in that our supply chain is, we're manufactured everything in Langhorne, Pennsylvania. Our main ingredient is water, as well as pretty readily available polymers and then simple other ingredients. So we really haven't had too many knockwood supply chain issues. We have noticed some price increases in things like polymer and film and the other stuff, especially packaging. But again, those have sort of been passed along, and I think the whole world is going through a situation where they kind of expect a little bit of an increase to be passed along because it's across the board.
Right.
It's not just us. Aluminum prices have doubled, things of that nature.
Right. So about the water, is it filtered in any way, or?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, it's completely pure deionized water. We have a very extensive water filtration system that makes sure that the water is 99.9% pure.
Wonderful. Excellent. Is there anything else you'd like to add to the conversation to make sure our viewers are aware of any? I know you mentioned no guidance, I think. Anything to report in terms of earnings?
Well, the other side of the business that I think viewers would be interested in is that we do have this entire consumer and beauty and cosmetics side, which is driving revenues and taking us to profitability.
Right.
But we also are developing our own medical devices. So we're making a surgical incise drape, which we patented and are now engaged with the agency and moving down the 510K pathway. So a surgical incise drape, for those of your viewers who are not familiar, is what the surgeon puts down to cut through before surgery to prevent infection. Well, the standard of care uses acrylic adhesive. So if you're elderly, have fragile skin, diabetic, on certain medications, that fragile skin can tear when that drape is removed, which is counterintuitive to preventing infection. So we're trying to create a solution that is very gentle to the skin, much like the gel you felt, but will provide an antibacterial barrier for surgeries. And so we also have an entire medical device side, an application similar to that, that is totally different from the consumer products.
Interesting. So, of course, we need people. Our teams are important to us. Can you give us more information on who your management team is, your board of directors, and what they bring to the table?
So on our board of directors, we have Dr. Jerry Zeldis, who was the chief medical officer of Celgene for many years.
Yeah.
Miranda Toledano is the COO of Intera Biosciences. I happen to have a wonderful team and a scientific advisory board of surgeons and doctors that are looking at our medical device applications, as well as some possible 505B drug delivery applications for this technology. So I have a wonderful support staff, and in the facility, I probably have the one gentleman who I affectionately refer to as Heisenberg, if you're a Breaking Bad fan. He is the gel master, and there's a lot of sort of understanding how the gel works and being able to offer these custom solutions to customers to get their active ingredients into the gel and out of the gel effectively. So
Awesome.
we have a really good team.
Fantastic. So let us hear more about Adam Levy. What is your background? Why this space? And what excites you the most?
So I started actually I went to Johns Hopkins and I was in healthcare there, just studying it. But I then moved into the music industry. I did a roll-up strategy in record labels for 28 years.
Wow.
I sold that business in 2009 and reconnected with a buddy of mine, and I became an investment banker. So I was an investment banker, which was an interesting transition because instead of working on one company exclusively for 28 years, I now looked at many companies. And so when this opportunity came along, I already had the operational background. I was familiar with the facility from other transactions, and they asked me to be the CEO. And it's been kind of fun now going back to running one business again and nurturing it and having it grow. And so I'm really excited about how we've been able to grow the company, and I'm really excited about where we'll be able to take it because it's a little bit, the ideas are a little bit like drinking water from a fire hose. Like we can think of more good things to do than we can do at one time. So prioritizing is a big thing.
I bet, yeah, for sure. Very interesting. You know, with that varied background, you've touched many industries and, of course, come across lots of experiences and people. What life lessons can you impart to our viewers?
Well, the life lesson that I take from my previous experience to this one is, consumer products are a lot like music. They're a lot like entertainment. Very fickle audience. Very difficult to judge. So, we take the philosophy that you're going to be right, you're going to be wrong. It's how effectively you figure out what you've got, right? So if you have a product that's a great product that people love, well, it's easy. You just spend money and you promote it, and it's a license to print money. If you have a product that's not working, you get off it as quickly as possible and try to find something else. It's how efficiently you determine. So we're very, very focused on looking at our advertising metrics, looking at our sales metrics, seeing what's actually giving us the feedback to put out the products. We don't assume we know anything when it comes to consumer products. And that's kind of the general philosophy if you're going to run a consumer products company.
Stay flexible and proactive and pivot when needed, right?
Absolutely, and abandon ship when it's time to on a bad product.
Know when to say goodbye.
Yes.
That's true. Well, for our viewers, we'd like to condense the conversation into 3 key takeaways. If you can just highlight the most important parts of what you were saying today.
Well, we are a unique technology. We are a platform. We do have multiple shots on goals through various things, from drug delivery to medical device to our consumer products. We are pretty well funded, so we have plenty of runway to wait for one of those shots on goal to actually hit the net and go in. And we're very excited about our prospects going forward.
Excellent. Where can we find more information?
So our website is pretty robust, www.nexgel.com. And again, our products are on Amazon. You can go to the Nexgel store and see what we have and read our reviews. They're all very, very high-star reviews. So I hope your audience learns more about it.
I hope so too. Well, I'm going to sample it myself and I'm going to let you all know. But why don't you do the same and we can review notes? Thank you so much. This is a Sequire Spotlight, and stay tuned for more.